Good evening, and welcome to the 5 o'clock news special on imperialism of Australia. We begin tonight with the viewers' opinions of the top 5 reasons of why we took over. In no specific order, we start off the list at number 1 with cute Australian animals. On family-friendly AustCamping.com, unique animals were one of the top reasons to visit Australia. The country is teeming with kangaroos, so why not bring them over to America? Along with kangaroo sanctuaries, we would generously welcome wallabies, kookaburras, wombats, and about 60 more others varying from aquatic animals to reptiles and birds. Our zoos would have more variety that elementary students could take a field trip to and learn more about. Not only would it enhance and expand our knowledge of animals, it would also provide jobs for zookeepers and help bring in tourism. It would be an area that becomes more widely popular and possibly increase the interest in zoology for college students. At number 2, we have the topic of advancement as another reason to imperialize. Thus far, Australia is known to have created many new inventions, one being a spray-on skin that creates a new skin within 5 days rather than the previous 21. With fewer days to culture the cells for new skin, the burn victim has less scarring. Australia also invented a vaccine to prevent cervical cancer. Dr. Fraser, who invented the vaccine to prevent cervical cancer by 70%, was named 2006 Australian of the Year and was a joint winner of the prestigious William B. Coley Award for Distinguished Research in Basic Tumor and Immunology. Still in research and development by Australian scientists is a vaccine against malaria. With all these accomplishments, America and Australia can work together to come up with new technology in medicine. Another significant Australian success that is currently helping some parts of the United States is a dual flush toilet. The toilet consists of 2 buttons that have 2 different flush volumes. With 2 different flush volumes, more water is saved. When the invention was tested in a small South Australian town, the toilet saved about 121,000 gallons of water a year per household. With these types of ingenuity, Australia and America can lead the world into lowering greenhouse gas emissions, thus saving some endangered species such as the polar bear. Coming in at number 3, we can have a mutualistic beneficial trade with Australians. As industry and technology as our main exports, and coal, iron ore, and gold as Australia's, we can trade their minerals with our new technologies. With more input of minerals, we can use iron to make steel, gold to make jewelry, and coal to produce electricity. For the viewers' number 4 opinion on why we imperialized Australia, we have the topic of land. Australia is made up of 2.97 million square miles of beautiful land surrounded by 22,000 miles of coastline. For an easy comparison, the size of Australia is about the same size as the 48 contiguous United States. With more land, America may expand our citizens, industries, and world power. Our Navy can control more waters and also give us additional home bases near different countries in case of war. The 5th opinion on why we imperialized Australia is sports. With the NFL potentially gone forever, the imperialism of Australia has come at a good time. The major sport of cricket may now become popular in the States and fill the void of a multi-million-dollar industry. With the addition of this new sport fanatics can again have a reason to be excited for the winter months, and they can dry up the tears caused by the absence of a sport that's been around for 89 years. Now, our specialist will answer frequently asked questions that we have gotten in emails about the imperialism.
Thank you, Pam. I'll be answering the 3 most commonly questions in my email. The most common question we have gotten is, how will we acquire the resources that we are interested in taking from Australia? The first method that we will use is diplomatic negotiation. We will explain to the Australians how their resources that we will take will benefit us, and in return, that will affect them positively. If that does not work, we will begin to use military force in order to do what we need to do to acquire the resources we desire. We will send troops from both the Army and the Navy in order to control the citizens from any uprisings when we try to take what we need. The next question is about convincing America. In order to convince our people about the benefits of this takeover, we will be making public service announcements about what we will be focusing on doing once we take control of this territory, and we will explain how these plans will benefit us back at home. Specifically, we will tell them about how this will instantly pull our economy out of their recession, how the territory will allow us to expand our industry, and all the aspects of Australian life that will be able to benefit us back home. Documentaries will also be made about to showcase the Australians' tremendous assets in which people may watch in theaters. The last frequently asked question is, how will we convince Australia that what we are doing will benefit them and not be harmful? Similar to how we will convince America, we will explain to them how our takeover will benefit their society, specifically those benefits being more products and industry, bettering their economy, and advancement in science and technology. As we benefit from those resources we gain from them, they will mutually benefit in return. Everybody will be happy. If they do not willingly accept takeover, we will just threaten them. saying that we will use our military to take what we want if they refuse to negotiate.
Now we will hear from a native Australian about the Australians' perspectives on the imperialism. Here we have Fergus Worthington, who has offered to answer some questions that Americans have been wondering. The first question we have for you is, what effects will this takeover have on your country?
At first, my mates and I were angry and hostile towards the Americans because they seemed like bullies, because as if we didn't have any say in any decision making. After they explained to us how we will benefit from their takeover, I thought, the more the merrier. However, I'm an optimist and I can't speak for my whole country, but my thoughts seems to be a common opinion around these parts. We are hopeful that we will keep benefiting as we have been doing thus far.
The next question is, what is the potential cultural impact on the people of Australia?
So far, the Americans have successfully forced their culture upon us. At first, we were again hesitant, but we have realized that both of our cultures are very similar. So for them to try to force theirs upon us has proven not to be a large problem. The predominant religion in America is Catholicism. As our main religion is practiced, thus, those who are religious didn't really have a problem with the takeover. We have only had to make a few changes to the way we live, but as long as we keep our accents, we will keep our identity.
The last question we have for you is, will the people of Australia welcome any part of this takeover?
I think we Aussies are pretty warm-hearted people who are easy to go about change. So I think that we welcome pretty much every aspect of the imperialization. Yet if Americans start to bring more military force, there will be some heated disputes that will not go over well. Overall, we will continue to remain peaceful, as seen in previous other treaties and agreements with China, Antarctica, and various other nations.
We would like to thank you for speaking on behalf of your country. That wraps up the 5 o'clock news. I hope you have learned something about our imperialism plans, and any further questions can be emailed to our website. Coming up next is a Sports Center Imperialism special, which will focus on how the takeover will benefit American sports. This will be a great program.
Welcome to the Sports Center's special edition of Cricket versus Football. Wicket maiden, quickie, how's it, and googly are not commonly heard words in the States, but ask any Australian and he or she would sure know what sport they refer to. As America's hooked on football and baseball, Australians are hooked on cricket. Due to a lack of successful negotiations between the owners and players, the NFL has announced that there will be a lockout next season. This means that until there is some sort of agreement that both sides are comfortable with, there will be no more football games. This could either be just for the next season or if they remain very stubborn for the rest of eternity. This means much more to the nation than tears and broken hearts. There is a much larger problem that our nation will face. All of the revenue brought in by aspects of the league will be lost, and there will be a gaping hole in our economy. In a time that we are using imperialism in order to help pull ourselves out of a recession, this lockout will do just the opposite. This lockout will sink us in further into the recession because there will be no major moneymaker in the football months. However, we have found a solution. During our imperialism of Australia, we have found what we will use to replace football and the NFL. The main sport in Australia is cricket, and that is the sport we will be adopting to our nation. We've already started to alter our football stadiums into indoor cricket arenas. We've also been working on the native Australians to teach us all the finer points of this sport so that we play it properly and we don't lose any of its integrity. At first, the Australians were hesitant to allow us to take this sport from them because to them it felt like we were stealing from their traditions. However, they have seen how excited we are about this and how respectful we have treated the sport that they love. After a year or two of the NCLA, the National Cricket League of America, our economy will start bringing in as much money as it did with pro football, and we will no longer be plummeting further into debt. It will take some time and practice, but we are all excited to hear Aaron Rodgers say wicket maiden, Peyton Manning say quickie, and possibly some of you saying googly, and everyone in the nation will understand what they are talking about. Will Americans learn to love cricket as much as football? We certainly think so. We just have to wait a few months to find out for sure. And now, we will talk about why Ohio State will win the national championship game.